The Connecticut Sun's WNBA season came to a dramatic end as they were eliminated by the Minnesota Lynx in a game that many are calling a karmic result after what some have dubbed a season of overly aggressive play from the Sun. The match was marked by intense competition, with the Lynx ultimately capitalizing on the Sun's lack of defensive execution. Minnesota's Nafisa Collier was particularly dominant, leading her team in scoring and creating opportunities, while Connecticut struggled to find their rhythm, especially on the defensive end. The Sun's physical style of play had been a defining characteristic of their season. Critics described them as playing with a bullying mentality, often relying on physicality to dominate their opponents. However, this approach seemed to backfire in their elimination game, as they could not contain the Lynx's fast-paced ball movement. Minnesota stretched Connecticut's defense thin, creating open shots and forcing the Sun into errors that they couldn't recover from. Alyssa Thomas, one of Connecticut's key players, had an off night compared to her usual high standards. She struggled to break through Minnesota's defense, with the Lynx collapsing on her and Brianna Jones inside the paint, leading to turnovers. The Sun also struggled with ball security, committing multiple turnovers that led to easy points for the Lynx. Despite mounting a comeback in the fourth quarter, including an 1-1-0 run that tied the game, the Sun couldn't hold off Minnesota when it mattered most. Minnesota's final blow came when Bridget Carleton sank a decisive three-pointer in the last seconds of the game. This shot sealed the Sun's fate, and with that, the Lynx eliminated Connecticut from playoff contention. The loss was particularly stinging for the Sun, who were eyeing a strong playoff run, especially after finishing the regular season in a top spot. What made this defeat even more painful was the perception that the Sun had failed to live up to their defensive potential. Head coach Stephanie White highlighted the lack of intensity and aggression in key moments, pointing out how the team allowed Minnesota to dictate the game, particularly in the second and third quarters. Connecticut's normally disruptive defense was nowhere to be seen, allowing the Lynx to move the ball with ease and find open shots around the perimeter. This game symbolized a broader theme of the season: the Sun's reliance on physicality and toughness without adjusting to moments that required finesse or strategic shifts. Their physical approach worked in certain matchups but fell short against a disciplined Minnesota Lynx team, which exploited every weakness the Sun showed on the court. The Lynx's victory not only ended Connecticut's season, but also raised questions about the Sun's future strategy, as their aggressive style wasn't enough to secure a deep playoff run. Fans and analysts alike debated whether the Sun's bullying tactics had finally caught up to them. Throughout the season, the team had gained a reputation for pushing the limits of physical play. While this gave them an edge in certain games, it also made them vulnerable to teams that could outpace and outsmart their defensive schemes. Minnesota's win was seen by some as karma, a fitting conclusion to the Sun's season of aggressive play without the necessary adjustments to win in the playoffs. As the dust settled after the game, Alyssa Thomas remained defiant, emphasizing that outside opinions about the team didn't matter to them. She pointed out that the Sun had been doubted before, and that their ranking didn't define their ability. However, the loss to Minnesota undeniably stung, as it abruptly ended a season filled with high expectations and tough battles. In the end, the Minnesota Lynx proved to be the better team on the night, using their speed, strategy, and clutch shooting to dismantle the Sun's defense. As Connecticut looks ahead to next season, they will have to reflect on their approach, balancing their physical play with a more adaptable, strategic mindset if they want to make a deeper playoff run.